Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking Courtroom episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, today we're traveling down to Ohio to witness a defendant get sentenced for unspeakable crimes against his own stepdaughter. That's right, this dude is definitely bottom of the barrel. And what happens to him during sentencing, man, it's nothing less than satisfying. Now, with all that being said, let's jump into the courtroom and witness what the judge has in store for this deviant. But first, as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are present in the state of Ohio versus Dennis Welp in case number 25 CR 206. The defendant is in court represented by counsel. We were last here on May 14th, where the defendant pled guilty to count 5 and count 6, both being sexual battery felonies of the 3rd degree. At that time, the court referred the defendant for a pre-sentence report and victim impact statement. Those reports have been completed, and the state is prepared to proceed with sentencing.
3rd degree sexual assault. Man, just judging a book by its cover, this dude's gonna have a dark ride in prison. If he's sentenced to prison, the judge could spare him. But he pled guilty, and if I were to guess, it's because he has a plea deal in place. When the state doesn't offer any kind of deal or anything like that, typically the defendants fight it all the way till the end. They got nothing to lose. Why not, right? So let's find out if that's the case with this guy.
Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I'm going to be brief. This was a heinous crime, Judge. This was horrible in a lot of ways, but most importantly, because this was a minor child.
Oh, man.
Who almost assuredly didn't fully understand what was going on with somebody whom was entrusted to love her and to protect her.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, I know it's his attorney, but it sounds like he's greasing him up for the AMCO tracks. I would have been looking at him like, bro, this is not how you're supposed to be starting this off. See, you don't want me to be a court-appointed attorney, because if I didn't like you, you had bad paperwork, I'm gonna make it look like I'm representing you, but really, I'm just oiling you up.
Yes, he has a record. Yes, he has been to prison, but it's mainly in the past been for drug offenses, I believe some theft offenses, nothing of this magnitude. On this day, and this is not an excuse, Judge, for his behavior, but on this day, Mr. Welp was drinking a lot, was highly intoxicated, and took advantage of his stepdaughter.
Oh, my.
Since the day I met him, he is in disbelief that he did this. He has expressed to me his remorse and his sadness, and how he hurt her, how he hurt his wife, how he hurt the rest of his family. He knows, Your Honor, that he's going to be spending a lot of time in jail coming up. I know there's discretion with the plea with how much time that equates to. This court has a lot of discretion with that. Earlier in chambers, the state and I presented to the court a joint recommendation for 8 years. I'm going to respectfully ask the court to consider imposing that sentence.
Alright, first and foremost, this dude's already been to the pen. He should have learned his lesson, but no, he gets out and commits even more heinous crimes, taking advantage of his own stepdaughter. Man, have I heard many stories about evil stepfathers, and this guy is a prime example of them. Be careful, ladies out there that happen to get a new guy into the house. He could be doing some funny money business right under your nose and you would have no idea. Second of all, it seems like they do have a plea deal here, but the court's discretion is large, meaning the judge can go above and beyond 8 years and give him the max. I don't know exactly what that is, but he can do it.
Consider imposing that sentence because I believe Mr. Welp is remorseful. I believe that this is not who he is as a person, and I'm hoping when his time is up and he gets out, which by the way, he's going to be reporting as a sex offender for the rest of his life, so he's going to be under a microscope, he's going to be monitored for the rest of his life, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to piece things together, make amends with at least part of his family. I don't know if he can ever make full amends with everybody or not. And you're going to hear from him in just a minute, Your Honor. But again, I don't think this is who he is as a person, and I'm going to respectfully ask the court to consider adopting the joint recommendation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Required to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish a residency within 3 days of coming into that county, or if temporarily domiciled for more than 3 days. You are also required to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish a place of education immediately upon coming into that county.
All right, so I got a question for my viewers, anybody that might know. Do these sex offenders still have to, like, go to the neighbor's door, knock on it, and say, hey, it's me, your new neighbor, man. I gotta break a few things down to you really quick, all right? I'm a sexual deviant. It happened years ago, bro. I promise it don't go down like that no more. That's what I always thought happened, right? I don't know. Maybe they just alert whoever they alert, and that person in the office alerts the neighbors. I have no idea. Let me know in the comment section below how this process goes, if anybody knows.
All right, Mr. Welk, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
First and foremost, I'd like to apologize to the courts for appearing before them today. I'd like to apologize to the victim in this case. I'm not going to use alcohol or drugs as an excuse for anything. However, alcohol was a main factor in this case. But I take full responsibility for my actions because I chose to make the irresponsible decision consuming too much alcohol than I could handle, causing poor, regretful choices leading to my incarceration.
Oh, man, he's putting way too much blame on that alcohol. Bro, I've been pissy, wasted, drunk. And never in a million years did I say to myself, yeah, let's take something from someone. Sexually, of course. You know, I did steal a couple purses in my time. But yeah, this dude's mind is all fucked up. He's a predator, man. If I were to guess, he'll be one for the rest of his life. Actually, let me take that back. He's going to Ohio prison system. He's going to definitely be prey.
I've read the police reports and feel ashamed, embarrassed, and hurt because that's not the person I am. And I wouldn't be standing here today if I would have just been more responsible. I have 4 younger children that I've let down because of being locked away from them, missing out on watching them grow, having to deal with that as a heartache alone. The only thing I can do now is work on myself while incarcerated, take advantage of all programs they offer, and become a better man and a better father, and not give up doing so. I have to make this my last time in jail, and I plan to. I'm sincerely remorseful to my victim in this case, letting her down when I was supposed to be a father figure in her life. I beat myself up over this every day. Over this, wishing I could take it all back. I just hope she can grow up in life and leave this in the past, and that it doesn't affect her future. Again, I'm sorry to everyone I caused pain to in this case.
But now we're going to hear from the prosecution. They usually have the last word, and they paint probably the worst picture of you ever. With these type of cases, though, I love it because I'm rooting for the most smoke possible.
Thank you, Your Honor. One thing that the defendant said today in court, and even in his pre-sentence report that stood out to me, is that he was supposed to be a loving and caring father. And I couldn't agree more with that. He should have been someone that the victim could trust and rely on for protection and guidance. And instead, he used his role as a parental figure to manipulate her, exploit her, and violate her. And while there is a jointly recommended sentence here, the state believes it's essential to highlight not only what the defendant did pre-indictment, but also what he did after his arrest in this case.
All right, let me clarify something really quick. The 8 years that the defense attorney's asking for is joint with the prosecution. They're agreeance with it. You know, it's looking like, you know, if the judge goes with everyone else, 8 years. But keep in mind the judge does have a lot of discretion with it.
While incarcerated, he continued to communicate with the victim while in the Lake County Jail.
Wow.
He attempted to guilt and manipulate her by blaming her for her own attempt at the East Lake Jail.
My.
He pressured her to express her feelings to law enforcement about him or her desire for him to only receive a short sentence. He spoke of wanting to attend counseling together. He emphasized they were a team and told her he loved her, despite being her abuser, despite doing what he did here.
Like I said, these predatory activities, they typically don't die overnight, man. It's embedded within them. This dude's still playing the predator game with the victim, even in jail. I guarantee when he gets out, he'll probably try reaching out to her again.
And during several of these recorded calls, you can hear the victim crying, further illustrating just the ongoing emotional harm caused by the defendant and his conduct. This behavior demonstrates his continued disregard for the well-being of the victim, his family, and his ongoing efforts to control her and manipulate her. The defendant today in court said he's remorseful, but in the pre-sentence report, he didn't believe he did anything wrong, and he wants to take this to trial. So I'm not sure what this court can believe. He has a lengthy criminal history, including 4 prior prison numbers and 5 felony cases. And all of this, I think, supports the need for a significant term of incarceration, and respectfully ask this court to impose a jointly agreed sentence of 8 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Why did you call her after you were in jail?
Because I was told by the detective I was allowed to.
Okay.
I didn't call her, I called my wife and she answered the phone.
All right. And what contact did you have with her about retracting her statement or modifying her statement?
It wasn't retracting. We talked about counseling, going to counseling and stuff, because that was something that they was talking about making them do, and something she said she didn't want to do.
Trying to, whether directly contacting her or contacting her through your wife, was wholly inappropriate. And it was further evidence of you trying to take advantage of her at that young age, like you did when this happened.
Now she had asked the detective if she could have contact with me when this case was all started. Then when I went to my preliminary hearing on February 11th, I asked the detective and he told me the same thing.
You're experienced enough in the system.
Yeah, he is.
To have the wisdom that you shouldn't have been contacting her.
He knows what's coming his way.
In talking to her, having about anything having to do with this case.
And
So,
from a jail phone.
You in your statement, you say you apologize to her, but then in the pre-sentence report, you talk about how you don't believe you did everything you're accused of doing and wanted to take this to trial. What's that all about?
I don't remember exactly what I said, Your Honor, but what I was saying was I don't have recollection of what happened the night of. So I wasn't admitting to, I don't know what happened.
I don't believe that.
So did you or didn't you do this stuff?
Yes.
I don't remember nothing about this, Your Honor, but, I did it.
It doesn't get much worse than this kind of stuff.
Nope, it doesn't. Bobby Hewitt.
And I would note in the record that in 2009 or 2010, you were sentenced to prison on a burglary, released on judicial release, and then returned to prison after a violation of the judicial release.
He can't get enough of prison.
You were released January 7th of 13. You went back to prison on another case.
He's
May
a
1st
damn
of 13,
prison bird.
out in August. Went to prison on an attempted burglary, trespass in a habitation, breaking and entering, June 23 of 16 through August 5 of 18. A whole bunch of theft offenses. You've had a lifetime of criminal activity, but none worse than what has occurred here. I reviewed the pre-sentence report and a victim impact statement. I've considered what you have said, what counsel has said, and I've also considered that they've made a joint recommendation of 96 months.
I've also, keyword, considered the agreement of 90-something months, which is 8 years between the state and the prosecution, but he's considered it. If I were to guess, that means he ain't going to be going with it, though.
And so on count, and I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 29, 29, 12, 13, and 14.
Here we go, Bobby.
In consideration of all that, on count 5, I'm going to sentence you to a term of 60 months. On count 6, I'm going to sentence you to a term of 60 months that will be consecutive to one another.
120.
credit for 143 days. And consecutive sentences are necessary to protect the public from future crime by you and for appropriate punishment.
All right, get out, man.
Oh,
What
no.
you mean, man?
Stay down.
No, man. Get me the fuck out of here, man. You know
And-
what? Took my plea back, man. Get me the fuck out of here, man. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, man. Get me out of here, man.
Almost done, Judge.
Get me the fuck out of here.
And they,
No, man. Get me out of here.
The judge gave him 60 months on 2 charges ran consecutive, meaning he has to do 120. Rather than the, 96 that the judge said the defense and prosecution agreed upon? I mean, it really ain't that much off. A couple years? He shouldn't be getting that mad. What, he thought he was going to get under 8? With all that past criminal record, man, going to prison 3 times? Getting out and doing something unspeakable like this to his stepdaughter? That's a life sentence in my book. They need to change the laws.
Get me out of here, man. What the fuck you mean, man? Get me the fuck out of here. Man, get me the fuck out of here. Let me get my leg.
All right.
I'm visiting tomorrow.
Put me on your visiting list for jail and prison.
All right, man. Stop touching me, man.
Did you hear a female in the background? Put me on your visiting list, jail and prison. Ladies, man, come on. What are y'all smoking? And I apologize. I don't want to group all the ladies up into one. Just the maniacs. Why would you dare want to go visit a sexual deviant? Mind-blowing to me, man. Mind-blowing.
I'm not doing this, man. I'm not doing this.
Whoa,
I'm not doing shit. Open it up and do it all this or that.
Good job, Your Honor.
Consecutive sentences are necessary to protect the public from future crime by the defendant and for appropriate punishment. And they are very proportionate to the seriousness of the conduct and the danger he poses to the public. And his history of criminal conduct demonstrates that consecutive sentences are necessary to protect the public from future crime by the defendant. Costs are assessed, the remaining charges are dismissed. Anything else, Ms. Alessi?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Another sexual deviant bites the dust. And like I said, in Ohio, man, he's going to have some very dark days heading his way. But there's a couple things we can learn from this. 1, plea deals aren't always locked in. The judge could give you more than expected. And number 2, anybody starting a relationship with someone new, keep your head on a swivel, man, because anybody could be a predator. And being around your children is like a sweet treat for them every day. Be very, very careful and try to recognize any kind of red flags that might come your way. And number 3, look, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you got these kind of crimes, you better be ready. If you think you're going to go to prison with these kind of crimes and have an easy ride, think again. Even if they put you in a special block, chances are within his 10 years of being in prison, someone's going to come across him and know exactly what he's in there for. And you've got to handle that. Until the next time, stay tuned. I got plenty more content coming your way. If you enjoyed the video today and you're new, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And more importantly than anything, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.